Welcome to Star Medicine Podcast, your weekly source for easy-to-apply astrology, energy, and divinatory practice to deepen and expand your being experience. Hosted by intuitive astrologer and Reiki 3 practitioner Jenifer Edwards.
Well, it's Tuesday night, and we all know what that means. 7 o'clock is Star Medicine Podcast. This is Jenifer, your host, and I am broadcasting live from a cave deep in the woods in Brunswick, Maine. I hope all of you are having a wonderful Tuesday with Mercury retrograde. I hope you can all hear me. I had to call in using my phone rather than Skype because Skype decided not to work this evening. If you'd like to call in with a reading request, the phone number here is 323-642-1188. And tonight we're going to be talking about how to manifest your reality and using the blue moon, which is happening on Halloween. And that's going to be conjunct Uranus. Now, for many of you, you know what a blue moon is. But for some of you that do not, a blue moon is when a full moon occurs in the same calendar month, and that is what we have happening on the 31st, which is super exciting. This full moon is super special because not only because it's on Halloween and Samhain, which, you know, I have been known to celebrate that on the 1st of November, but I believe a lot of people are celebrating it on the 31st this year. But this full moon is going to be conjunct Uranus, and Uranus is the planet of surprise, and Uranus is the planet of innovation. It's ruled by the sign of Aquarius. And so whenever we think about Uranus, we think about electricity, we think about sudden change, and we think about manifestation. Things just happen with Uranus. It's just the way it is. And you can't control its energy, which is why it's so beautiful. It's impulsive and reactive and electric and supersonic and it's just full of just brilliance. And so whenever we have a lunar aspect, especially a conjunction, we amplify the energy of the full moon. And so we're going to have the moon conjunct Uranus, and whenever we have a full moon, we have the sun opposing the moon. So the sun will be opposing Uranus as well. So this is going to be a very magical time, and this is going to be a time when we are going to be able to manifest at a higher rate. I know that within the past couple of days, I've seen some things really come to fruition that I didn't anticipate. Matter of fact, I didn't even think about manifesting anything, and it just kind of happened. Last week, I was telling a family member about my parameters on something that I was looking for, and I wasn't looking for it right now. And lo and behold, the other day, there it was, which was very odd. And of course, we're in Mercury retrograde. The cool part is that I had seen this particular thing a couple of months ago and thought it was, you know, not in my range. And so when it appeared the other day, it was exactly what I was describing. So, you know, we can manifest just about anything into form. Let's talk about manifestation for a moment. You know, whenever I talk about manifestation, people automatically start thinking about The Secret. And, you know, that's a wonderful way to kind of introduce yourself to manifestation. But pretty much manifestation is all about energy, and that's all we are is energy. You vibrate so I can see you. You vibrate on a three-dimensional level so I can see you. I believe that when we leave our bodies, we vibrate four-dimensionally, and that's why people who are not able to see ghosts or entities or communicate, it's because they aren't vibrating at that level. So when you get yourself up to that level, I feel like psychics and mediums are really vibrating in the fourth dimension, because our soul is energy. You know, once we leave this plane of existence, once we leave our human suit, our energy still exists. You cannot destroy energy, and that's science. So back to manifestation. When we're trying to manifest things, one of two things happens. So we either have a desire that we want to bring forth, and that's about control. And working with energy is about releasing all your control. So it is about being completely in tune with the energy around you. It is about releasing all conscious thought. It is about our ego is important. We need it in order to eat and breathe and drink and all of that good stuff. But our ego tells us things, tells us to be fearful. It fills us with doubt. It cuts off our direct line to source. And source could be God for some people. Source can be the universe. Whatever your definition is, it cuts us off from that because we no longer have the knowing that we are always in the right place at the right time. We are filled with doubt. So when we're manifesting, a lot of times our ego will manifest for us. We want a car so we can look really hot, or, we want all of these sort of material things that maybe perhaps are not in alignment with our soul's purpose. And when I talk about soul's purpose, I do a lot of that work with people and their birth chart to find out what they're in alignment with. And when things start to show up, the next right thing that is on your path, those things are showing up. They are manifesting to help you get to the next place. You can, it's not really manipulating the energy. Basically, when you are in a place of not lack, when you're in a place of abundance, when you're in a place of prosperity, when you don't have any worries, you are open to receiving. I talk to people about finding childlike joy. That's one of the quickest ways to get into a place of resonance that matches the universe. Or love. Love matches the universe. Love is the universe. So when we talk about manifesting, it's really about getting your state of being, your entire vessel, free from worry, free from fear. And by doing that, you are creating the energy to receive. And this is a wonderful, all of this energy that's happening right now is going to allow us to be able to do that. Whenever we fear something, we are manifesting it. Whenever we worry, we always talk about the mother's worry. Oh, I worry about my kids. Worry is love. Instead of worrying about your children or worrying about your family, start imagining them living their best and highest life, the life that lights them up, rather than worrying. Because, all of our thoughts and our feelings and what we say, it's all spells. And so whenever we find ourselves in a place where we are maybe depressed, or maybe we're thinking about, we're internally thinking about our faults, or we don't understand why things aren't happening, that should be a trigger for us to realign and start thinking about what we're grateful for, what makes us happy, the things that fill us up with joy, because those are the very things that are going to help you bring prosperity into your life, help you find your direction, help you manifest. I hope that dissertation made sense. I'm very much a visual person, and so whenever I have a client with me and we go through the steps of how to release conscious thought, the steps of just being, it is one of those moments where everything makes sense for the client. So for you out there, we're just going to pretend that you are in my space in South Portland, thank Goddess, and we're talking about how to clear your mind. One of the tools that I use is Kundalini Yoga. It's gone through some controversy over the last year. However, I have found it very helpful, even though I do not promote the teachings of Yogi Bhajan any longer. However, there's something very special about the combination of mantra, mudra, and prana, which is chanting, hand placement, and breath. Because when we are focusing on those things, something amazing happens to our thought process. And we are all of a sudden here in the now. We are not 10 minutes from now, what am I making for dinner? Oh my God, what is the house going to look like? I have to get gas, all of those things. We're in the present because we're trying to hold this practice in the way that it's meant to be held. And in order to do that, to concentrate, there is no room for conscious thought. And for me anyway, after 3 times of practice, after 39 years, driving home, well, the way the story goes, I signed up for a series, which is the best way to get into Kundalini, is to sign up for a series. And I signed up for a series. It was 8 classes. And the first class that I went to, it was crazy. I looked around. And I've done some crazy stuff in my lifetime because I love exploring things. But so I'm sitting in a classroom, and they're doing these ridiculous breath sessions, and I couldn't understand what was going on, and I just went along with it. But it was ridiculous, and I couldn't understand how any of this could possibly work. But I did it. Not only did I do it, but I paid for the next 8 classes because I bought a series. So I had to go. So I went to the next week, and it got a little bit better. It was still strange and very foreign. Nothing made sense, and I had to be very focused on what I was doing in order to be able to do the Kriyas. The 3rd week, I remember driving home and realizing I had no conscious thought. And once I achieved not having conscious thought, that's when the doorway opened for me. And I have been working with energy and magic and the moon and the planets for a very long time. And I have had things happen in my life that I've manifested, and they weren't so great. And it really had to do with where my mind was at, where my mind was spinning. And I'll tell you, one of the main points that I like to tell people whenever we're talking about manifestation is find what you love, do it. Do what you love. Make space for what you love. If it's paint, I'll use painting as an example because I love to paint. If it's painting and you lose yourself in painting and there is no time that exists when you're painting, it doesn't matter what you're painting, just do it. Because being in that space of being lost has you tap into the juiciness of the universe. And that's when you are a conduit of manifestation. And that'll start taking over your life where, without getting too complicated, it'll start taking over your life to the point where you are doing what you love. The only thing in this lifetime, in our human lifetime, that we know for sure is going to happen is that we are going to die. And nobody on this planet that is going to escape that. Nobody. And so once we realize that and we make peace with that we're all in this together, there is nothing else to fear because the world is full of unknowns. Bad things happen, uncomfortable things happen, growth things happen, and we understand that. That's a part of our process of being human. However, when we expect those things to happen, that's when the shift in energy happens. So stop expecting bad things to happen. Stop worrying about stuff that hasn't happened yet. Instead, start focusing your energy on things that make you happy. Start focusing on your energy on what you'd like to see happen in your life. Allow yourself to feel what that feels like. And once you get into that space will start to grow. And you will be surprised, especially over the next week, just trying to tap into that, how wonderful an essence that is and how fast you can manifest. Now, I'm a part of a collaborative, which I've talked about before on the program, called optimisticwellness.com. Optimistic is spelled with a Y, like Opta and then Mystic. Actually, there's a podcast on Heart Over Ego Network on Thursdays, and that's my co-creator, Jordan Eck, and she's amazing. And we are putting on a full moon gathering open to the public, and you can find it on Instagram. You can win a year membership to Optimistic Wellness in the collaborative. There's a lot of breath work that can be used within the collaborative that can help you release your conscious thought. These are wonderful tools whenever we're trying to really get ourselves into a manifestation mode. If you would like to know more of that, you can find me. I'm going to be posting the link tonight on Instagram, but we have our 4-day spiritual retreat that is free. You can do it at your will. You click on the link and you'll get an email, and it tells you, here's day 1, here's day 2, here's day 3, here's day 4. This is a wonderful thing to do riding up to this full moon that we're having because of all the energy. This will really get you grounded. It'll really help erase any conscious thoughts that you're having, especially if you're anxious and you're living in the future, or if you're depressed and you're living in the past. This will help you really bring you into the here and now where the magic happens. And then, of course, we're also going to be having a link for our full moon sisterhood circle that we have on Saturday, which I believe will be at 10:30 Eastern time. So if you'd like to join that, find me on Instagram, Thank Goddess on Instagram, and I'll put the link for Optimistic Wellness, and also Optimistic Wellness on Instagram to like, follow, share, all of that, and you should be able to be in the running for a free 1-year membership, which would be amazing. So back to the matter at hand. So when we talk about manifestation, we want to be in the here and now. We want to be in the present. We don't want to be in the future. We don't want to be in the past. And as long as we can stay in the present, things start to change in our life. That's a very simple act of self-care, is to stay in the present. And you'll find that this will help things start to show up a lot more quickly than you realize. So let's talk about the signs and how this full moon is going to affect the signs, and also the areas of manifestation that will be useful for you. I see I have a caller, and I think I'm going to try the caller before we get going with tonight's program. So let me go ahead and answer. Hi, caller. Welcome to the show. This is Jenifer. Oh, I think I lost her. We'll go right into our forecast. Sorry about that. Mercury retrograde. First Skype sound. That's okay, though, because we are in the present. We're in the present right now. So this full moon that we're going to have is going to be at 10:39, I believe, exactly, Eastern time on Saturday morning. So if you're going to do manifestation rituals, you want to make sure that you have those done before 10:30. That would be the cutoff mark that I would suggest to people. Well, whenever we utilize the power of the full moon for manifestation, it is totally swollen until the exact time it is full, and then it begins to wane. So make sure that you are calling in all your wishes, all your abundancies, all of those things that you want to see come to realization. Make sure that you're doing all of your good stuff before 10:30 on Saturday. And Aries, this full moon is going to be in your second house. This is your second house of security, of earned income, of self-worth. And the sun, which will be opposing the moon and Uranus, will be in your 8th house, which is other people's money. This is going to be a time where you can focus manifestation on debt, paying down debt, receiving a loan, money, other people's money, or boosting your own income. So any kind of prosperity spells, prosperity rituals for you, the energy is ripe for you, Aries. And this is Aries and Aries rising. Now remember, whenever I am talking about horoscopes, I refer to each sign. Really listen to your sun sign because your sun's there, but you also really want to pay attention to your rising sign. Your rising sign tells you what house these placements are going to happen in. So all Aries rising, this will happen in your second house. And this will be all about prosperity. So any kind of prosperity rituals you want to have. I love to use bay leaves. Bay leaves are multifunctional with ritual. Bay leaves represent prosperity, and they can be written on and burned as, wishes to be offered to the universe. Other prosperity herbs would be pine, cinnamon, cedar. Cedar is wonderful, especially copal. Copal carries masculine and feminine energy. If we think about it, monetary things like money, money is all energy. That's all it is. And so when whenever we try to control something, we change the energy of it. But when we kind of allow things to move freely, we always seem to have exactly what we need. And I know because I've done this strongly over the past 3 years, and never fails. I've always received exactly what I needed. With that being said, Aries, this is going to be a money moon. So make sure that you're doing your rituals around prosperity. Also, self-worth. This could be a wonderful time to really take care of yourself, to really look at how you're talking to yourself, how you base your feelings on how other people treat you. Look around you. If there's someone around you, a group of people, coworkers, a boss, somebody in your life that is not treating you the way that you deserve to be treated, that needs to be reevaluated, and this can be a time to make a shift in that energy. Everybody should have value. Everybody has self-value. There's only one of you out there, and you are the most beautiful you that you could ever be. So know that you should always be loved and appreciated, especially when you are giving the same energy in return. Taurus, we're going to be experiencing this full moon in your first house. We want to look back at your new moon, which I think was on April 22nd. We want to look back at that new moon and see what you had conjured up for manifestations then. You should start to see things come to fruition. Taurus, this is going to be in your first house, and the sun is going to be opposing all of this in your 7th house. So this is your relationship axis. This has to do with your main squeeze. This has to do with calling someone permanent into your life. And, this would be rituals around partnership. This would be rituals around how others see you in this world, how you want to be seen, and what your role is in your relationships. So that's super important to look at as well. If you are not being, again, this is really about standing in your power, calling it in, and ending anything for all signs that does not feel good to you. It's important with no fear to just say, you know what, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am, and then watch the alchemy come from that, standing in your own power. Taurus, whenever we talk about relationship axis, we can also talk about business relationships, also hidden enemies. This is a wonderful time to perhaps, make protection altars if you want, if you'd like to. The veils are very thin right now. Let's just say that. Okay, whenever the sun reaches Scorpio from 0 to 15 degrees, veils are super thin. This is a wonderful time to get a reading from a psychic, from a medium. So whenever we're working with manifestation during these moons, during the cycle, like this full moon and then the new moon in Scorpio, these are off the chain for calling in all the things. So if you want to do a love spell, you want to deepen your bond, this is a wonderful time to do that, especially if you're calling out to one. There's a wonderful rose spell that I've given to a couple of clients, and it's really called in their person. So using that energy in that area and really identifying who you are in that relationship and not just losing yourself. And setting boundaries if you are not in a relationship of who you want to be in your relationship. This is your life. You should have a say in it. So Gemini, this is going to show up in your 12th house. This 12th house has to do with the subconscious, the undoing. It's about secrets. So you may hear of a secret that could shock you because, Uranus is there. Uranus can shock people with the information because it's so fast and out of the blue. The sun will be transiting your 6th house of health. It's quite possible that you have a spiritual experience. You may also experience burnout. Maybe perhaps you really want to get deep into your spiritual practice. If you don't have a spiritual practice and you have this full moon in your 12th house, Gemini, this is an amazing manifestation house, especially if you can get rid of your conscious thought. So anything that you want to bring into material plane can happen. Spells around spells around quitting something. If you want to quit smoking, if you want to quit eating, horrible food, or if you want to change something that's a biochemical within you. Whenever we have addictions, it's about obsession and control. And so with this energy, we're able to change the way we think about things. You could be a smoker and then all of a sudden, after applying practice, to be completely disgusted by cigarettes. I mean, that could be something that happens. I always, whenever I work with my 12th house stuff, my 12th house moons, that is definitely for giving something up. I have a hard time giving up, whether it's chips, whether it's coffee, whether it's something that my body doesn't actually need. That's a crutch. I use my 12th house illuminations to help me, and especially with the sun located in your 6th house. I have to tell you, this is a wonderful time to really change your health, and this is also the healing houses. So and getting energy work, getting any kind of modality done will benefit you greatly. And if you want to open up yourself to becoming a healer or exploring those avenues, this is a wonderful time to kind of start looking around at the teachers and the programs that are around you. Mercury is still retrograde. Signing up for new things, probably not the best thing to do until the 3rd of November, which is coming right up. But it is okay to look around, and it is okay to have an experience. Cancer. Well, we're going to have this illumination in your 11th house. So the 11th house is friendships. It's manifestation. This is a very powerful moon for you, Cancer. This is the manifestation house. So getting yourself into form, getting yourself into free form, maybe perhaps trying some of those meditations that I talked about and really letting yourself go, allowing yourself to receive, and coming from a place of prosperity rather than lack is really going to call in what you want to see have happen. This is the moon that I'm going to be having, and I am going to ritual, and I'm going to ritual something fierce on Saturday. Not because I feel like I need to, it's just to kind of give gratitude for what I have received for the past year, 2 years, 5 years, 40 years, however long I've been on this planet, I am so grateful for what I have now and where I am today. The sun will be in the 5th house, which is creativity, childlike play, new love, true love. Sex is a sex house. It's a wonderful house. Children. So, manifestation through childlike play is really the message here for Cancer. So do something that makes you light up, and you will definitely see some magic happening. I see we have a caller, so I'll go ahead and take the caller before continuing. Hi, caller. This is Jenifer. How can I help you tonight?
Jenifer, it's Nathaniel. I wanted to see if you're doing readings.
Yes. I'm doing astrological readings. How can I help you?
Do you need a birthday, or do you need a question?
Do you have your birthday with you? Well, you have your birthday with you. Do you have your birth time?
Yes, I was born at May 1st, 1957 at 7:36 a.m. in Orange, California.
Okay, hold on for 1 second. Let me put you in here. How's this Mercury retrograde treating you, Nathan?
I'm not sure right now. I'll have to wait and see what happens.
So when was your birthday again?
May 1st.
Yep. And what year?
57.
1957. And what time you said?
7:36 a.m.
A.M. All right, let's pull up your chart here. And you were born in California?
Yeah, Orange County, Orange County.
Perfect. I was just showing pictures of my trip through 29 Palms about a half hour before the show started, which was great. Okay, let's go ahead and look at your chart here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, the transits. Let's see. Well, sir, you have a Gemini rising. So you are going to be experiencing these eclipses. Oh, you have a stellium in Scorpio, and you have a stellium in the 12th house. So you have your sun, you have Venus, you have Mercury, and you have your moon all in the 12th house. So you're quite introverted, which is wonderful. I love 12th house sun people. I'm always gravitated towards them. I'm a 6th house sun person myself, so I always need to regenerate in the dark by myself. So I always share a kinship with people who have a 12th house sun. So when you have your sun and Venus conjunct each other, you're attractive. That's something that always comes, and people are kind of attracted to you. Currently, you have transiting your natal sun. You have Uranus conjunct your natal sun. Are you experiencing a lot of anxiety these days?
Well, I kind of am. I've been working 2 jobs for the last 3 months, and I just got let go of the other one.
And what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do with like when you think about what makes you happy? If money didn't exist, what would you do with your time?
It's hard to say. I like music, but the music business is a hard business, it seems. I guess you do what you love. I like astrology, and, I've just been trying to think of ways to, pay the rent and that kind of thing. So,
sure. Well, taking, I know that you're in a very serious situation, but I want you to look at it from a different point of view. Are you able to get on unemployment?
No, I have 2 jobs. I have another job. I'll just have to ask for more. But I was hoping that other jobs more benefits, and they had more things, and I was looking for promotion. and they let me know about an hour.
Well, the thing is that as a Taurus are very practical, okay? And so as a fixed sign, you were raised in a way where, and I was too, we were raised in a way to understand the system in a very linear way. You get a job, you get paid, right? You move the plow as the bull through the field, right? And you do that, and that's how you make a living. And so with this opportunity, what I like to try to help people with, especially with you having Uranus conjunct your sun in the 12th house currently, this is really going to bring opportunity your way. It's going to be unexpected opportunity. You are probably being drawn to things that are kind of weird to other people, maybe, like astrology or music or, but what I really would like you to focus on, if you can, especially during this full moon that's happening, because this is going to be in your 12th house. This full moon is going to be at 7 degrees Taurus, and this is going to be within 3 degrees of your natal sun. So this is really going to be a powerful full moon for you. What I would really like you to kind of explore, because I think this is going to open up some doors for you over the next couple of days, I really would like for you to explore if really, what would you do if money didn't exist? And that doesn't mean like, oh, I would play music, but there isn't a market in music. Well, if money didn't exist, it doesn't matter, correct? So what I want you to look at is like, what makes you truly happy? For me, and I'll give you an example. I've been doing astrology for 30 years. I love astrology, and I thought that I had to go and get a license to be an esthetician because no one would ever want to listen to my astrology. And here I am 3 years later. I spent $9,000 to be an esthetician, and I'm doing astrology and I'm not doing facials. You see what I'm saying? So whenever we find something that truly lights us up, even if it's a hobby, the more and more we do that, the next right thing happens. And more so during this full moon than ever for you, because the 12th house is one of the water houses. Even though you have Taurus there, it's underlined by Pisces. So you can manifest many things during this energy. When we talk about your North Node, which is your life's purpose, your life's purpose is to serve others. Did you know that?
Yeah, I love helping people, yeah.
Yeah, it's service to others. It's the healer. So when we look at that a bit farther, Virgo rules this house naturally. Okay, it's the opposite of Pisces. You have Scorpio in this house. So the sun is going to be transiting through this house. Your past lifetime where the South Node is in your 12th house. So you were kind of the guru, okay? You were single, solitary, spiritual enlightenment. And in this lifetime, you're supposed to be with the people, if that makes any sense. Instead of the guru at the top of the mountain, you're supposed to be in the village with the people, sharing the magic. You have so much wisdom inside of you to share that's valuable. How long have you been doing astrology?
Since I was a kid, many years. First, I started out with the regular ones, and then I got the Chinese astrology down, through the year of the dragon and what your accent was and what your element was. And then I choose each day, like, Einstein was born the day of relativity. So I think you're born the day of ideals, I think, April 2nd. I think that's the deal, like the idealist or something. So everybody's got a day and stuff, so I just kind of use my intuition on people. Sometimes they're born the same day, but, they're different years, and they kind of vibrate different.
So what's keeping you from doing readings on people?
I don't know, clientele. I just got to get in the right spot, I guess. I don't know how to kind of self-start myself and ask people. Or
Are you on Facebook? Are you on Instagram at all?
I'm on Facebook, yeah, not Instagram.
Oh my gosh! You know what? Post something and say, I will do a reading for the next 3 people that like that comment below. just start doing it. And it doesn't. You can do them for free, so that way. But I mean, as long as you're doing it, because this is what lights you up. And also with you having Uranus conjunct your sun right now, you're super psychic, especially in your 12th house. Like your dreams are photorealistic. You're receiving a lot of information. I hope you're writing a lot of stuff down, or at least whenever you get these random thoughts that aren't so quote unquote random, I hope you're really making note of what you're hearing. I am going to tell you, and then I'm going to let you go because I have to finish the rest of the signs before we end the program. And we only have 20 minutes left. But I do want to tell you, you're coming into a big relationship axis. You're going to have the eclipse on November 30th land on your ascendant. You're at 7 degrees. You're at 7 degrees Gemini. So, are you in a relationship now?
No, not really. And I think the friends.
Do you want to be in a relationship? Are you looking for a relationship?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
This is going to be a really good time for you to potentially meet someone. So if someone in your circle wants to set you up on a blind date, go for it. Start really deciding the kind of person that you want to have in your life. Call out those orders. I think that during this 12th house full moon, this would be a wonderful time for you to really express what you want to call in right now for this lifetime, okay? What would really make you happy in your most authentic, truest form, whether that's within a partner and you sharing yourself within a partnership, with you doing something that's fun, that creates an income, right? This is a wonderful manifestation time for you. You're going to have the eclipses in your 1st and 7th house until like the end of 2021. So you're going to start seeing a lot of changes in the atmosphere. You might also start hearing from exes too. But you are not going to be forgotten during this eclipse season. So you're really going to start to feel it around November 30th. As a matter of fact, whatever was going on in June will start to sort of reappear in. Did you meet someone in June?
My brother and his wife moved back in the house, and I moved out in June. And I think I started in. That was July. I started my new job in July, so I'm not sure.
Interesting. Well, look at what was going on because that was right when eclipse season started, and so it's quite possible that the 6th house also rules jobs. It's possible that something was missed back then. Or that, whatever happened in June is going to be connected to what's going on November 30th, that eclipse.
Okay.
Okay?
We'll have to all see how it plays out. Thanks, Jenifer.
You're so welcome. It was lovely talking to you, Nathan. I hope you have a wonderful full moon, and good luck to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, so we'll move into a commercial, and then we'll finish the rest of the forecast.
Welcome to Heart Over Ego Radio, a collection of podcasts designed to enhance your spiritual journey. Join us on Mondays with the Alchemy Sisters and Creating Heaven on Earth. Tuesdays, Star Medicine Podcast and KT Talk Show. Wednesdays, Political Star Talk. Thursdays, the Optimistic Wellness Podcast. Fridays, Turn Yourself In, Self-Mastery for the Intuitive Sensitive Empath. And The Witching Hour, as well as Horror Magic, a show designed to heal stigma around sexuality. Saturdays, Seen and Heard, a podcast about abuse. And Shining the Light on Sex Trafficking. And Sundays, Gather Round for One for All Is Love with Sonia Spirit. We are Heart Over Ego Radio. Find us on any podcast app, Facebook and Instagram. Search Heart Over Ego Radio.
Welcome back, and we are going to start with Leo. And Leo, you are going to be seeing this full moon in your 10th house of career status. and fame. So, if you've been wanting to be seen for something and you want to be known, this is the time to get out there and be seen. Also, if you have been trying to do some legwork in your career, you may get noticed during this time. You have the sun located in your 4th house of home. So, this is really bringing energy to full moons. A lot of times people attribute it to ending. So it is possible that you could be leaving one career and moving on to another one. And if you want to call in your perfect career, this is a wonderful time to ritual around that. Doing any rituals with around status, around calling in the perfect job, employment. This would be a wonderful moon to do this. Remember, like I said, you have to do this, the calling in, before 10:30 Eastern time. And I think that 10:30 Eastern time is still daylight time. Yeah, we change our clocks at 2 in the morning, I think, that night. So it's still Eastern daylight time. So, Leo, this would be a wonderful time to manifest energies around where you see yourself going, what you want to be doing, taking that leap finally out of corporate America and into what truly makes your heart sing. All of these placements are all about authenticity. When our ego gets in the way and we want to do something because it makes us look awesome, but it's really not what we really want to do, it never works out. Or we get what we asked for as a massive lesson. So, get grounded, figure out what it is that you really want to do, where you want to go, and allow that essence to fill you, and that's what your ritual should be about. Virgo, we have you having the full moon in your 9th house. Now, this is the spiritual house, the spiritual teacher, higher education. It's also a communication house because we're going to be having the sun opposing the full moon conjunct Uranus in the 3rd house. So this is all about communication. And how are you thinking that you want to, go back to school, maybe get your master's, maybe you want to travel, maybe you want to, I know for me, I'm a traveler and I'm going absolutely batshit right now. I can't even stand the fact that I can't go to England. It's really bugging me, but I know that I could go whenever I wanted to. It's just pulling the trigger and going. But for some people, it could be stepping into the role as a teacher, knowing that you are good enough, being able to manifest your role as a teacher. This is also foreign language and foreign travel, like I indicated before. So, getting the opportunity to travel abroad, if you're comfortable with that, if you're safe with that. This is a wonderful time to ritual around your spirituality. If you are getting ready to have a court case, this would fall into the 9th house. The 9th house is ruled by Sagittarius. Sagittarius is very fair. It has theology in this house. So lots of religion. If you want to communicate with deities, Mary Magdalene, for instance, or really get into the study of the goddess, this would be a wonderful time to devote your time to this. For me, if I had the 9th house and I were doing rituals, I would do rituals around calling in my astral geo place. I would make a vision board of all the places I want to go, and watch that materialize fairly quickly. Libra, this is going to be in your financial house as well, but this full moon is going to be in your 8th house with Uranus, and it's going to be opposing the sun in your 2nd house. So this is other people's money. This is also sex, death, taxes. This is major windfalls. This is a very psychic house. If you want to work on communicating with the other side, if you want to see a medium or you want to dive into mediumship, this is the time to do it. This is when the veils are going to be incredibly thin for you. This is where the energy is. And you could also get a sudden windfall. Libra and Libra rising, I would definitely play the lottery 100% this weekend. You don't have to put all your money onto one ticket, but, buy a $3 lottery ticket. It's not going to kill you. And if you win, you can thank me. You could you could send me money too if you wanted to, but I'm not saying you have to. But also other places where you could look to hopefully whenever we're talking about, whenever we do things in our highest and best, and we do things in the pureness of the soul, and we're not being shite, we're not manipulating people, we're being good humans, then, you know, there's kind of rewards to that. If we're being dicks, chances are you're going to get caught. This is not a full moon to be shysty, to keep secrets, to try to write bad checks, to, you know, something, you're going to get caught. This is not a good time to, you know, to be unmoral. All right, well, you know, your own personal morals. I guess we all have a definition of what moral is, but, you know, if you're going to steal your boyfriend's credit card, steal your boyfriend's information to get a credit card, I wouldn't do it because you're going to get caught. Or anything like that. You know, going over the speed limits, you know, you shouldn't be doing it. You know, this is going to be a powerful full moon, and it's at the end of the month. We all know who's waiting for us at the end of the road at the end of the month. It's the blue light. Scorpio. So this is also going to be in your relationship house. So you're going to see an ending to either a stage of your relationship and moving on to a greater stage, or you're going to see an ending to a relationship. So this is probably one, if I say that, it's probably one that has been not faring well for too long. Sometimes we hold on to things out of fear, like I talked about, and aren't willing to let go, and that is a form of control. We are controlling who stays in our lives, we're controlling why, and even when things aren't working out, we're blocking both of the partners from receiving our highest and best. You know, people come into our lives, they help us learn lessons, they help us evolve into the people we are today, and then we become better people after that. I know with the people that I've dated before and the heartache that I've gone through in my life, I would never change any of that because it makes me the person that I am today, and it makes me able to help other people, and that's really where we're at. So for you, Scorpio, you may meet your soulmate, the blue. It's going to be electric. You'll feel it through your eyes and to your toes. I mean, this is going to be some crazy energy. So pay attention. Listen to what comes in. Pay attention to your intuition. For every sign, this is going to be a very psychic moon. So if you start getting feelings, or you start seeing visions, or your dreams start getting vivid, I want you to write them down, or turn on the microphone on your phone and record yourself, because it won't make sense now, but it will make sense very shortly why you're having these visions or these feelings. Sagittarius, we are going to be having this full moon in your sixth house of health, healing, small animals, and service to others. This is also a job house. So would not be surprised if you see a change in your job, whether you are given some kind of promotion or raise, whether or not you decide to get into a healing modality, whether or not you decide to take better care of your body, whether that's adopting a new exercise routine. This affects our hair, skin, teeth, and bones, the sixth house. This is also the house of the healer, and you may be inspired to learn Reiki, or learn any kind of access bars modality or cupping or something that uses the universal energy for healing. This is a wonderful time to utilize that. But, first and foremost, it's also a great time, like I said, with Gemini, to quit something. So if there's something that you're doing that is not healthy and you give yourself hell for it every time, this is a wonderful time to quit the habit, whatever it is. If it doesn't serve yourself, then you don't need to have it, or you need to release it. We're only keeping it out of fear, right? So Capricorn, this is going to be landing in your fifth house of creativity, and the sun will be in your 11th house of manifestation. So this is a wonderful time to manifest. Not only that, but my goodness, you could definitely fall in love during this moon. And if you are not looking to create children during this moon, I suggest being very careful. Because this is a very fertile moon for you, Capricorn. Fertile moon creativity-wise, fertile moon sexual-wise, fertile in all the ways. It's also a wonderful time to find your childlike joy. Finding your childlike joy and tapping into that for manifestation, whatever that is. And whatever your childlike joy is, when you're like, am I joyful? If you have your abdomen hurting and you have tears running down your face while you're doing it, and you are just in a place of just glee, that's your childlike joy. And that's what you want to find. I know for me, my childlike joy is, sounds so lame, but it's playing with my cats, it's being with people that I absolutely love, and being incredibly creative. I absolutely love to write. I love to draw. And I love to do astrology, and those are the places where I find I'm zoning out and receiving messages. And so you'll find that when you find your happy place, that's when you become a conduit to the universe. So Capricorn, you will probably have a wonderful, wonderful moment in the grocery store with someone across the produce aisle if you get yourself out there, okay? Just saying. And Aquarius, we're going to have this full moon in your 4th house of home. You're probably going to see changes to your home. Maybe you were looking at moving. Maybe you were looking at relocating, which would be moving, Jenifer. It's the same thing. Maybe you were looking at redecorating. But also this can also be attributed to the house of the mother. So check in with your mom, your mother's side, all of that stuff. This is also family who you would invite to Thanksgiving, and that time is coming. So, you may hear some news around that. As for manifesting, this is a wonderful moon to manifest, your perfect home, what you would like to be doing, and maybe, where you would like to be living, what kind of house, what security feels to you, feeling secure, things around that, things in that nature. I know that burying St. Joseph will help you sell a house fairly quickly, but, laurel leaves will also help you call in your house very quickly, too. Doing lots of visualization about a happy home will bring a happy home faster, but also making, solid boundaries and changes within your household. Something might occur. Make sure that you have your home insurance is paid, your renter's insurance is paid, all of that good stuff. With Uranus involved, it's hard telling. It's electricity, and it happens all of a sudden. So you could win a house, and you could lose a house. You never know with how Uranus works. But when we're open to the energy that we get, whatever we lose always clears the space for new fertile ground to grow what was supposed to be there. Oftentimes, whenever we lose something, it was never ours in the first place. We were just holding on to it, right? And blocking ourselves from the next right thing. And finally, Pisces, we have the full moon in your 3rd house. 3rd house of communication, 3rd house of short distance travel, 3rd house of podcasts, writing, all of those things. If you want to communicate your feelings, if you want to manifest anything in your life that has to do with getting your words out there, this is a wonderful time to write your own spells. This is a wonderful time for you to put pen to paper and really write down what you want to see in your life, what makes you happy, and allowing the universe to kind of bring that to you. Your alchemy is going to be within your voice. Your alchemy is going to be within your written word. Your alchemy is going to be in your expression. And so make sure you're doing a lot of that and telling people what you want, telling people what would make you happy. And you'll be surprised either who clears out of the way to make room for that to come in, or who helps you and holds you during that process. This full moon is going to be amazing, and I will be thinking of all of you. Please send me your questions at starmedicinepodcast.com. You can find me for readings at thankgoddess.org. And you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Thank Goddess. If you would like to have a tarot reading or you would like to have an astrology reading, please find it on my website under the Services and Circle tab. As always, it has been a pleasure, and thank you guys for letting me talk about what I love. So much love to you all.